Good afternoon. I hope that you and your families are safe and doing well. And I want to welcome everyone to the 2020 Virtual Spring Assembly of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. It is an understatement to say that this has been a very unique and challenging semester. With very little notice, you were asked to completely redesign your courses and begin teaching remotely. I am amazed at all that you've done this semester. In an environment where the rules were changing almost daily, you quickly adapted and found solutions that allowed your students to complete their coursework and be successful. The focus of this virtual assembly is to celebrate the completion of this very unique and challenging semester. Our assembly begins with brief comments from President Garrett and Provost Cordell. We will also hear updates about the incredibly important EAT initiative. We will hear from several of our colleagues about some of the creative adaptations in their remote classrooms. In addition, we'll have an opportunity to listen to some great performances by the music department's alumni virtual ensemble and the ESU choir. The creativity showcase includes just a few examples of some of the adaptations within the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. I ask that you think about some of the creative things that faculty members are doing or that you're doing to help students stay engaged. It might be an innovative teaching practice. Maybe it's a novel way to reach out and encourage students. But if you have some examples now, or if you encounter them in the coming days, I ask that you send a brief description to Dorothy Stevenson, and she'll follow up with you or the faculty member as needed. I hope that you enjoy this virtual assembly, and I cannot wait to see you again in person very soon. Again, thank you for all that you've done over this difficult semester. See you again soon.
Hi, it's great to be with you today, although I certainly wish we could be together in person, but it's my privilege to congratulate all of you for the great work that you've done over this last year. It certainly wasn't a year any of us anticipated when the year began, but I am amazed at what a wonderful job Emporia State's faculty, staff, and students have done to pivot toward an online environment. You know, as I think about the great things that have been happening, I think about things like a senior graphic design show that's been done virtually, or a choir singing the alma mater virtually. There are so many amazing things that our faculty and staff have been up to. Among other things, faculty have been busy working to assure that students from around the Emporia State community have access to food and other basic needs, and I'm so pleased that that's happening. And I think about the way that our band has pivoted toward virtual tryouts for the Marching Hornets, or the nursing department, which has been working on creating the swabs needed for the COVID-19 testing. The creativity demonstrated by all of you is phenomenal, and I also want to just take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the support of our students. I appreciate it, and you have demonstrated the very best of what it means to be a Hornet. Stingers up.
Hello everyone, this is David Cordell, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. This is an unusual spring assembly for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, but then this has been an unusual semester. You know how we say that ESU is the adaptive university? Well, I think we've been put to the test. In recent weeks, we have had to adapt very quickly and very creatively to an entirely different environment. And thanks to you, we have done that. None of us would have chosen what has happened this semester, but our response to it is something that I think we can be very proud of. We still have challenges ahead of us, no question about that, but I am confident that we're up to the challenge and we can handle it. I hope you share that confidence. The arts and sciences are the core of the university, and the faculty and staff of this college are absolutely central to ESU's mission. So thank you for doing that central work year in and year out, but especially Thank you for the extraordinary work that you've done this year and this semester. I hope you enjoy your summer, get some rest, focus on some things that are important to you, take care of yourselves and your families, and I look forward to seeing you in person on campus this fall.
Hello everyone, I'm Angela Fullen, Development Officer for Emporia State and your liaison with the ESU Foundation. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this year's Spring Assembly. First of all, I would like to thank you, Brent, for your hard work, your dedication, your loyalty that you show every day as you encourage each of your departments to be the best that they can be. We all appreciate everything you do. Thank you to the faculty and staff for all that you're doing to encourage and enable our students to finish their classes this semester. Thank you so much. At the foundation, since we've been working from home, we haven't been focused on presenting proposals for major gifts. Instead, we've been asking those that have the capacity to support the Emporia Student Emergency Fund. And we are so grateful to all of those that have supported that fund so far so that we can help the students right now when they need it the most. Lately, I've been directing my efforts towards establishing new relationships with potential donors, while also thanking our existing donors. I would like to thank the faculty in the art department, the English department, and the music department for all your help in encouraging me to be creative in how I reach out to these individuals. If you can think of any alum that I should be reaching out to and trying to connect and build a relationship back to the university with, please let me know. I'm more than happy to do that, as I enjoy working with all of you on campus to build those relationships. Well, as you can tell, today I'm on the nature trail, which is part of Campus Woods north of campus. If you haven't made it here, I would highly encourage you to come and partake in a hike. It's beautiful out here. And since it's so nice out today, I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish my walk. I do look forward to seeing all of you on campus as soon as we can. Until then, take care. You and your loved ones stay healthy and stay ESU strong.
Hello all, we hope you are staying well. I am Dr. Jasmine Linneberry, and in the fall, my colleagues and I introduced you to the EAT Initiative, a collaborative and interdisciplinary effort to combat food insecurity, both on campus and in our community. We wanted to share a few updates with you and provide you with resources that you and your students might find helpful. Today, we will tell you a little bit about why food insecurity is important to address right now, what we've been up to, and what you can do to help end hunger in our community. I'm going to turn it over to Blythe Eddy to discuss why it is important to address food insecurity right now.
In the fall, ESU students participated in the Hope Center's Real College Survey for the first time, one of only 2 schools in Kansas to do so. We received the results of the survey this spring, and they confirmed what we already knew to be true. Food insecurity as well as housing insecurity are indeed prevalent issues among our students. According to the ESU specific results, 41% of ESU students had experienced food insecurity in the 30 days prior to completing the survey. Additionally, 42% of survey respondents from ESU experienced housing insecurity in the previous year, and 15% experienced conditions consistent with homelessness. We believe this issue is even more imperative to address right now in light of COVID-19. These numbers have likely grown in the past several weeks, given current economic conditions and other hardships members of our campus and community are facing. We have heard firsthand accounts of this among our students and others in the community. Food insecurity is then an adaptive challenge and pressing issue to address now and to continue addressing even when COVID-19 is no longer a threat. In light of this, we would like to tell you a bit about what the EAT Initiative has been doing this year to combat food insecurity. I'll turn it over to Dr. Rebecca Rodriguez-Carey to tell you more.
In fall 2019, we had 9 collaborating faculty members who inserted content about food insecurity into 15 different courses with a total of 280 students. In spring 2020, we now have 11 collaborating faculty members, many of whom are colleagues from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. students and faculty have conducted more than 60 qualitative interviews and facilitated a community action workshop for more than 40 stakeholders to develop an action plan to address hunger in our community. This semester, we've been sharing what we've learned with others and have begun executing on some of the actions identified at the workshop. Over the course of the academic year, EAT and our partners have hosted 4 guest speakers, a World Food Day event, documentary showings, and exhibits both on campus and in the community. We did have additional events planned for this spring that had to be postponed, likely for the fall, so keep your eye out for those. In light of COVID-19, we partnered with others in the community to provide information about available emergency relief resources, including food assistance, in centralized locations to make it easier both for those in need of these resources and for those who are in a position to give. Visit the emergency relief and donate pages on emporiastrong.com to learn more. Now that you know what we have been up to, I'd like to turn it back to Dr. Lineberry to share what you can do to contribute to these efforts to end hunger in our community.
Right now, you may have students and others in your life who are in need, but you might not be sure how to help. You can start by spreading the word about available resources. You can direct people to the EAT website at emporia.edu/EAT, and in particular, our resources page. You can also make use of and share the Emporia Strong website. If you are in the position to be able to give, you can consider giving to ESU's Student Emergency Support Fund or check out the donate page on the Emporia Strong website for other needs right now in our community. If you are in need of other guidance and best practices right now, the Hope Center has been providing a number of guides, reports, and resources related to supporting students during COVID-19 on their website. Visit hope4college.com. Looking ahead, we strongly encourage you to include a basic needs statement in your syllabi for the fall semester that directs students to resources. We have models that we can provide you to do so. If you are interested in becoming part of the EAT initiative, get in touch with us. We'd love to talk about ways that we can better work together to end hunger in our community. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our update. Stay well.
My name is Melissa Bailey. I'm in the Department of Biological Sciences, and I also direct the Forensic Science program. I teach human anatomy and physiology, toxicology, and forensic microscopy.
I'm James Ellers. I teach in the art department, and I teach this semester I'm teaching engraving and drawing.
My name is Kevin Rabus, and I'm professor and chair in the Department of English, Modern Languages, and Journalism, and I teach poetry and playwriting, introduction to creative writing, as well as literature classes.
So some of the challenges with moving my classes online have been that I teach 2 really hands-on laboratory-based classes. That would be anatomy and physiology and microscopy. With anatomy and physiology, we have been able to move into virtual labs, which I don't think they're a complete substitute, but they're as good as we're going to get. We have several programs like Anatomy and Physiology Revealed that have cadaver-based virtual dissection, and so that's been a good substitute for our cadaver lab. With microscopy, that's been a lot more difficult. We've been trying to do some virtual webinars by the Macron group, and those have been very helpful. We've had weekly class discussions, but I think my students are looking forward to getting back to school and using the microscopes in real life.
So the number one struggle that we had to deal with was equipment, the number one priority. So in our program, we have this state-of-the-art facility with all this pneumatic engraving gear, sharpening hones, positioning vise, among many other things that are in that room. So what I had to do, well, first off, I had to look at this as an opportunity, kind of frame my perspective, and go back to the basics of push engraving, which is how I was initially trained anyway. I do teach push engraving off and on, but I haven't taught a full-blown push engraving class in a long time. So I had to redo the class to where it would be all push engraving and put together kits for each student so students didn't have to go out and buy all this new stuff. So I pre-arranged 15 boxes with all the equipment that they needed. And I would say one of the challenges early on was we have a positioning vise that is utilized to clamp the object or the plate in that can be spun, and that enables the engraver to more easily get curves. Obviously, a positioning vise for each student is about $500 to $800, so that was cost prohibitive. So what I ended up doing is collaborating with one of the students in engraving one. His name is Liam Campson. He's a graphic design major, and he's actually graduating this semester. But he has a 3D printer at home. And I worked with him to create some type of spinning device that I could make a mold of and cast and replicate to give to the students. So I worked with him. I actually picked it up off of his porch and then came home, made a mold, cast 15 of them in resin, and got them out to the students. And this is actually it right here. It's a 2-part little item. All it does is spin around, and the plate is taped to it, and it helped quite a bit, actually.
Maintaining a kind of writerly community and connection has been difficult because usually we'd meet in a small room, about 12 of us, and we'd be able to talk and gauge each other's emotions and thoughts by looking at our faces and body language. You can still get some of that with Zoom, but it's a little harder. And so staying in touch with that. And also, we've been in a place where our poetry now is necessary for not only communication and empathy, but a kind of self-care. And so I've encouraged my students to write about the pandemic if they are able to do so, and to share that thought and emotion. And I've done the same. And I have a poem about it that I share with my students to say, hey, I'm participating in this with you, and I'm with you.
I think that one of the biggest things I hear, especially my undergrads say, is that they struggle with due dates and motivation. Having a number of classes with a bunch of different assignments due every week and trying to keep track of everything has been a problem. And so with my anatomy and physiology class in particular, I have a weekly announcement, and I announce what is due that week, my office hours for the week, any little tips, hints, tricks, all of that, what's coming up for the following week. And so I just try to give them a weekly schedule, so hopefully they're kind of writing things down, and it helps keep everybody more organized. And I've noticed that most students have not had a problem with late assignments.
The struggles of students, it's really a broad range. It seemed like that there was a range between students that were either very, very overwhelmed with work because their lives changed so much. Some of them may have jobs where they're pulling in 40 hours a week now, and then the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where they're just bored out of their minds and they need the social interaction. I think all of them, even the busy ones, needed that social interaction with their group. So it's a challenge to accommodate all that. So early on, I felt like I was sending too many emails, so I tried to cut down on my emails and my group emails and make the priority emails just reminders of when they needed to post on the discussion board or any other relevant thing. So I cut those down, and then I had a once a week Zoom social to where it was optional if they wanted to come in and talk, so they could get that social interaction. And then lastly, and there's many, so I'm just gonna bring up a couple, is a studio. There's no studio environment. Most people don't have a studio in their home. So recognizing that struggle, I tried to some degree level the playing field within my work. So I have all the same tools that they're using. I have a studio at school I will not work in. I only work at home. I'll work in my dining room table, or I'll work outside, or I'll work on my couch. And I use all the same stuff, and I know it's not the exact same scenario, but I'm trying to limit myself in a similar manner as them, and I'm trying to be productive. And I don't email them that I'm doing that. Some of them follow me on social media. So I'll just post what I'm doing on social media, and I try to be honest with them. You know, I post that I try to be honest with them. I'll post that I'm having, you know, my own challenges that I'm facing. I don't go into detail with what that is, but that I'm trying to show them that I'm still being productive and I'm still trying to work through those challenges, and in some way try to motivate them. I don't know if it's working. It's all a guess, right? But I'm also, in some of my phrasing on some of my projects that I put online, I try to have that type of, I guess you can do it, tone to it.
Finding connection and feeling like they're part of a group still, and that's what we're always working for, to make folks feel connected and to make them feel like what they're writing is important and what they're studying is important, not only to their teacher, but to their peers. And so finding a way onto discussion boards, Zoom sessions, into all sorts of communication modes so that we know that we're there for each other. You know, humankind is a group, and so we want to make sure that folks feel a part of that group.
Mostly, I don't know what I can say about creativity. Mostly, I've tried to look for outside resources to supplement what I already do. Most of the time, I've been recording the lectures that I would have given in person anyway. And so I've really gone out of my way, especially with my graduate classes, to find more articles, more interviews with other people, more webinars, things like that, to really supplement what we normally would have been doing. And I've really tried to keep the class discussion going, particularly with my grad classes. I really enjoy the back and forth discussion of different topics, and so we've done that with a weekly class meeting. It's been more difficult with anatomy because we have 50 people in that class, and so trying to find a time where everybody can meet is hard. I've tried to keep that going with discussion boards and things like that.
What this whole experience showed me is the possibilities of online learning with this particular program, and being kind of thrust into that situation. It's opened my eyes. So one of the things that came out of this is utilizing 3D printing to create tools that I can use in my class, a cost-effective approach to it, and also just the experience that I had with casting these tools. I would say, like, even for me, that was actually a highlight of this whole thing, was collaborating with one of my students to make that happen. But I could see, I mean, I'm already thinking ahead to the next semester. Let's just say we have to do this again. What I would have pulled from what I did this semester, was it perfect? No. There's plenty of things that I would change about it. Was it the best that I could do with the time that I had to figure it out? Absolutely. And I think, and I would say, at least all my colleagues, I would say they did the same as well. But yeah, I think that I learned a lot about online learning. I learned a lot about utilizing Canvas better to help structure and organize the class. And yeah, there was just a ton to learn, and it's overall, you know, we're all dealing with a bad experience, but I'm trying to look at the good stuff that I got from it, and I would definitely use all the things that I learned in this process. It was definitely not for nothing at all. I would definitely use all these tools again later.
You know, I'm sending videos to my students and audio files and clips and links. Now, in an in-person class, we do some of that through Canvas, but now there's a lot of communication where at 2 a.m. you can go to this link and check out Sylvia Plath reading her poetry herself, that sort of thing. And also, you know, the University Archives and Libraries set up a reading There was a virtual reading for community members and students and whoever wanted to come. And so folks could go in and participate in that. Whereas before you'd go to the basement of the library and hang out and listen, but now you could log in and check this out in real time on a Friday night, or you could go back and see the video weeks or years later. I'm glad that we're here for each other during this difficult time. You know, maybe 20, 25 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to communicate in this way. I mean, you might get a phone call, or you might get a letter, or an email, but now we can all join each other on video or through audio or through other means because we have the technology. And so I think in this case, the technology is a little bit of a blessing. And, you know, for those folks who are struggling with sick family members and that sort of thing, you know, we're here for you. I have students who are work in the health profession world, and they would chime in to me at like 2 or 4 a.m. And as soon as I heard, you know, as soon as I was awake again, I'm like, thank you for being there for us. I'm calling it a quarantine, like a zine, a small magazine of quarantine poems. And so this is the first one that I wrote that I've shared. So I've written a bunch, and this is one that I shared with all of my students and said, please do the same if this helps you, if you find it useful. So this is called So We Stay at Home, and it was written on Wednesday, the 18th of March this year. So we stay home and watch the rain, gray day, the lawn greening, the crocus up, trumpeting, and nowhere to go, no one to meet for lunch, the bug in the background. And so I listen to Mingus, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, and pray for my parents in another town, and for jazz musicians out of work, home with their saxes and drums, rumbling somewhere like the Italian tenor, singing from his window to an empty, empty street.
Shall we exalt our university, true to our forebears and posterity? Our finest efforts we shall yield in classroom, concert, lab and field and cheese for Shall we remember in our victory or sentimental tears, then shall the memories abound. We made those hallowed halls resound with cheers for ESU, with cheers for ESU. Shall we exalt our university, true to our forebears and posterity? Our finest efforts we shall yield in classroom, concert, lab, and field, and cheers for ESU, and cheers for ESU. Shall we remember in our future years bold shouts of victory or sentimental tears? Then shall the memories abound. We made those hallowed halls resound with cheers for ESU, with cheers for ESU.
Irish writer Jonathan Swift said that vision is the art of seeing things invisible. This year's awardee for the annual Liberal Arts and Sciences Faculty Award for Excellence in Scholarship creates prescient artwork that has an uncanny resonance with our current environment. Right now, all we may want is to be close to one another, awkward or not, as these exquisitely crafted sculptures and drawings depict. However, we must distance, just watch, remember, assess, be alone. The struggle is real. Our awardee is the Art Foundation's coordinator, full professor, and was chair from 2015 through 18. Over the last 18 years at ESU, they have participated in numerous international, national, regional, and local prestigious peer-reviewed and invitation-only exhibits, artist residencies, publications, and guest lectures. The artwork ranges from ambitious large-scale public sculpture and installation to paintings, drawings, and prints, a rare breadth. In addition to working in Belgium, Paraguay, New York, the Miami airport, and across the states, they were recently selected as a featured artist for Now or Never, SAC09 International Contemporary Art Festival in Antofagasta, Chile, hosting over 40,000 visitors annually. The project will focus on immediacy, fragility, and the value of time, an essential embodiment of our complex collective experience.
Hi, today I want to mention a great faculty. 10 years ago when I was a student at ESU, he was a great teacher. 10 years later, when I joined ESU, he's a great mentor to me. He helped young faculty like me. He takes faculty's problem as his own problems, and he helps as much as he can. I want to thank him very much.
I'm grateful to have such an admirable person as my research advisor. He helped me a lot in the past 3 years. He is always so nice to students, to international students. I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. Thank you and stay healthy.
This individual has served the Department of Physical Sciences and the university in numerous ways. His service contributions are often done quietly and efficiently, so it is easy for them to go unnoticed. During his time as chair of physical sciences, the majority of the faculty members were untenured, so there were several retention portfolios to review each year. Not only did he review the portfolios and submit the retention recommendation letters on time, he provided feedback on the portfolios. He also updated the faculty recognition guidelines to provide clear instructions for the content and organization of the portfolios, making the whole process easier for all of us. Due to his efforts, the chemistry department has received over $160,000 from K. Embry Corps facility grants. This money has been used to update research facilities and purchase new instrumentation. He also manages a NASA grant that provides $30,000 annually to the department to support student research. In addition to his service to the department, this individual serves on the Dean's Advisory Council, has served several terms on Faculty Senate, and is a council member at large for the Kansas Academy of Sciences. For these reasons and more, this individual is well deserving of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Service Award.
Hello, this is Alan Comstock. I'm the chair of the music department. The faculty member that I nominated was an easy choice, having taught at ESU for many years and achieving very high student and peer evaluations throughout that time. Some of the points that I highlighted in my nomination letter included the following. This faculty member is both highly innovative and grounded in real-world applications. This person is well respected internationally by peers in the field. For many years and on a regular basis, this person has provided high-impact learning experiences for students at the highest level of the discipline. This faculty member is an exceptionally conscientious and effective advisor, doggedly following paperwork through the serpentine substitution and exemption network and not resting until all of the I's have been dotted and the T's crossed. And finally, this person serves as a true mentor to students with a long and successful record of helping each to reach and exceed their goals regardless of native talent.
My colleague exhibits outstanding teaching. She is almost always on overload because she spends so much effective time recruiting high-quality students that her studio is full. She's had students win competitions like our concerto competition, as well as students go on to premier graduate programs. Her ensembles have been accepted multiple times by audition recording to perform for state, national, and international conventions, as well as her own compositions and performances. She is exemplary in her teaching.
Congratulations to Dawn, Kim, and Eric on these well-deserved recognitions. All of the award winners will soon receive an engraved plaque in the mail. In addition, the winner of the LAS Teaching Award will receive a check for $1,000, and the winners of the Research and Service Awards will each receive checks for $500. The funding for these awards is made possible through the donation of private dollars, and I want to thank our donors for their generosity. I also want to thank Dorothy, our music department, our music alumni, IT, and everyone else that was involved in putting together this virtual assembly. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I can't wait to see you again soon in person. Take care and have a great summer.